Dear sisters, this one is called Matchmaking Gone Wrong. My lady friend, who is in her late 30s, asked me to connect her with one of my male friends. She desperately needed a lifetime partner because she was beginning to feel lonely. So I connected her with one of my friends whom I knew would treat her right. To my surprise, they hit it off immediately after exchanging contacts. My friend couldn't stop talking about her, and coincidentally, the feeling was mutual. He even promised me that she was his last stop. The only thing left was for them to meet in person, as my friend worked out of town and only came around every 2 months. The day for their meeting finally arrived. Right after their first date, my lady friend started growing cold towards him. My friend got worried and asked me to inquire about the issue. After beating around the bush many times, she confessed that she lost interest because he was short. This is difficult. I managed to come up with something to help my friend back off without feeling bad about his height. Fast forward, my lady friend asked for another matchmaking. Honestly, I hesitated. But when I shared her photo on my status on her birthday, my friend in the UK showed interest and asked for her contact. I gave it to him because why not? After they started talking, things kicked off. This time, she asked about his height and was quite satisfied with his match. They kept talking, and when she got comfortable, she told her new man that she had a child with another man who was no longer in their lives. Well, this shook her new man. He immediately told her that he couldn't father another man's child and suggested they break up. My friend is now very hurt and feels discriminated against. She is angry that the guy rejected her.
That's a good one.
She is angry that the guy rejected her because of her child and is now blaming me. What should I do? Wasn't she the same person who rejected someone because of his height? Something he had no control over. I'm honestly confused. Sisters.
Let's go, pa.
The reality has finally dawned on her.
No, but okay. But I believe we all have preferences. Let's start with that.
Yes.
I believe we all have preferences, right?
Yes, definitely.
So what's wrong with her saying...
Just as much as you believe we all have preferences, which I also believe in, I also believe that people are also entitled to their preferences.
Yes, yes.
I've met people who have said, me, I like girls with big boobs. And I always tell them, then I'm not your girl.
Exactly.
I've met people, I had an ex who came back into my life, and once I took, because at the time we were dating, I didn't have children. So when he went to medical school and then he came back to Ghana, he was like, hey, I'm thinking we should pick things up, blah, 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 where we left off. And I said, I have 2 children. And then he told me respectfully that he cannot father another person's children. And I respected that. And I've met men who have children and they're probably too young. So I'm like, no, I don't, because I've seen that situation before and I don't. So in as much as I know I am entitled to my preferences, I respect other people's preferences as well. So first of all, that's where she's wrong.
Yeah.
You don't have any right to be angry over what anybody's preference is. You have a child. People are going to be entitled to the fact that they don't want a woman with children. People don't even want a woman who is not a virgin, let alone one with born 1 or born 2. Deal with it. It's something, so long as you decide to go on that route where you have a child and you're not married, it's something you will deal with harshly in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, Caramel can be tall, handsome kind of guy. I was like, you know, when you're growing up, when you're a teenage girl, you're like, oh, he has to have 6-pack, he has to have this, he has to, nice teeth, nice. And then my husband came along. My husband is like my height. When I wear heels, I'm taller than he is. Friendship, understanding, communication, empathy. My father was handsome, Asantini Bema. Handsome man. Oh, the girls, the women, everybody loves my husband. My father loved my father. No, but it's true, and he knows. And my husband too, he also likes women who, you know, have extra, do you get what I mean? So every time we tease each other that I don't have too much of a big bum, and then, you know. But what I'm saying is that we all would have our preferences. And I'm an example. I had my preferences. But sometimes we all do. But sometimes in life, we need to look at the content within the person. The person. Will the person make you happy 10 years from today? We can't guarantee tomorrow. But if they tried, would they make you happy? Would they stay by your side? Would they be faithful to you? Would they pray for you? Would they father your children? So there are certain values that go past what people look like. So all I'm saying is that just like you didn't like it when somebody said you were born one, I feel like you need to be open-minded. Tell your friend to be open-minded and tell her to accept people for who they are. I'm not saying that by all means you have to go and marry some stone face. The thing is that, you see, when you marry a handsome face and then you are in certain positions, you know, you need to be looking at nice faces. You get what I mean?
So that one is very true.
Very true.
That one is very true. You don't want to be traumatized.
You don't want to experience trauma. Mid-process trauma. Or you don't want to fall asleep away.
You are giving me thoughts in my head. That's why I'm like
crying. The person would think it's out of enjoyment, it's out of fear.
You're right.
Olivia, have you landed?
I almost landed. So my point is, you see, I'm not asking you to bend the rules completely. I'm not saying that, oh, by all means. But if you need to sort of, it's 100%. If you need to step it down to like 80%, please step it down. But most importantly, accept people for who they are and like them for who they are. That's how somebody would also accept you and love your children as well. So it's hand go hand. That's all.
All right.
Okay. I also had a preference. You know, I was very sporty and very lean, hard muscles, slender. So I always wanted a tall guy. I want not only for him to be tall, I wanted black. I like black men. The man has to be tall, black, hairy, especially the chest hair, the facial hair. See, and your legs has to be designed like a breeding bull. You understand? Those legs.
Those masculine legs, they are really attractive.
You see, so when you see the man's back, you see the man's waistline and the way the legs come out, and then and when you're lying down, you should see the man's leg far. So, alas, I got a fair man.
It's true, but he's fine.
Oh, fine. Oh, as for that one, yeah. I won't wake up midnight and look at his face and get scared. That's an unrobber in the house. No. So, a fine man, very handsome by all standards, but he's fair. And he's practically the fairest person I've ever dated. He's fair. He's not shorter than me, but he's not the height. Like I want a height that when I'm looking at him, I'll have neck issues. Like, you know.
And it humbles you. That kind of height.
And on the reverse, he too, his spec is not what is on my chest. He likes it. You understand? Yeah. And, you know, but for some reason, when you meet certain people, you realize that some of those physical specs don't really matter. It is the content, what you see, the vibe you are getting. Now, this your friend, no? The guy who is short, I think she was very irrational. Because when you have that connection with somebody, it's difficult. I mean, for you to just judge the person just because of the height, especially after one date. I would expect you, because a lot of people are with men and women that they justify to be with because of their character and what they bring to the table and how they make them feel. And like Olivia said, where you see yourself in the next 5-10 years, what you want the people to bring into your life. You, the friend too that you're doing the introduction, you too. If I have a friend, I know what the friend likes.
Exactly.
So before you do the introduction, make sure the person, and especially with things like born 1, born 2, born 3, you should have told the guy that as soon as you put her picture on your status, and the guy said, oh, I like, yes, oh, Charlie, she be nice, oh, yeah, she's a very nice girl, but she get picking.
You like
You know, when you say she has a child and she says, oh, don't worry, me, I like it. Because that one is not like you are telling what happened and how, you are just know, but she has a child. Yeah. Let the man know before you initiate the whole hookup. And you, this girl, where were you when we were all looking for men? Please, if you can put people on your status and then you be getting men, please, there are people who are waiting, who will give you numbers with pictures.
Why is your hand coming here?
No, sorry, I'm just using my legs, which I usually do.
Violated.
No, we'll give you pictures to put on your status so that people can see. But on a serious note, it's unfortunate that you've introduced 2 solid men and it didn't work out. But maybe you should have a word with your friend.
Right.
That you have solid friends and you will not allow any horrible person to date you as a friend. So if you are introducing her to somebody, this is somebody that you know is of good character, like you said in the beginning. Good character, will treat her well and everything. So the height really is not a problem. And if your friend doesn't understand these things, please stop doing matchmaking. Just don't let her go and fish. If it was easy to fish, she would have fished for herself. She wouldn't need you to do matchmaking. So just stop the matchmaking. This shouldn't be your headache, because whether you match them together or not, they are all adults. They decide whether to stay in or break up. Their issues of staying in and breaking up should also not be your headache. Yours is just the introduction. But me, if I were you, you sent the message and you've done the first introduction, he's short. Second introduction didn't go well. Me, I will not put myself in the mix of doing matchmaking again. Of late, I've realized that, look, as much as possible, keep yourself out of people's matter. Your matter is big enough for you. Keep yourself out of people's matter, period.
Right. Suture hasn't landed.
You know, like my sisters have rightly said, we all had our preferences. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of the things we've all spoken about today, it is born out of a place of immaturity. I have done that before. And I regretted it about 2 months after rejecting the person because of certain things they had that I didn't like. And I really regretted it. And later when I saw that the person has gone ahead to marry someone else, I was very sad about it. But the point I'm trying to make is those preferences will be there. But sometimes, one thing I notice we humans don't do is, sometimes let's do the numbers thing. You are thinking you're a 10 or you're a 7 until you're looking for an 8 to balance you out. But I probably, in everyone else's eyes, you're not really a 10, you're a 4. Your 7 you have made up is all made up in your head. You have imagined yourself to be some grandiose human being, some fantastic, beautiful girl that you're really not. And sometimes your friends can't even tell you
that you're not.
That you are not. You are a 4 or a 3. And nobody is telling you, so you are going in your delusional mind thinking you are something you are not.
Oh my God.
And so the kind of men who approach you or who will come and like you are also not 8 and 10. They are 3 and 4 and 2. And you need to get to the realization.
You'll never rate me in your life. Never in your life.
And at some point in your life, and it is, I feel like it is the women who got to that point, who got to that place and accepted themselves for who they are, who now accept any man who comes into their life and now are willing to go on that journey. A lot, because I was in that delusional state at some point in my life where I thought I was something I wasn't. Let's call a spade at this point. I'm putting myself out there. I thought I was an 11. You know, so I rejected a couple of, nines and 8s. Yeah, you know, I rejected a couple of 9 and 8s and 7s. And then now at this point, I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, 4.
I probably wasn't a 10 after all.
No, you're 11 in Jesus' name.
Amen.
But no, it is not, no, the thing is, you see, these things, it doesn't come from a bad place. And I'll tell you this for free. Because when you don't accept it, I'm not a Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of things also play into that. When you have a child, when you have 2 children, you can still be a 10 in the race of 2 children people. But you are not a 10 in the level playing field where you have younger ladies, beautiful young ladies, like virgins. So you have dropped. You have to accept it for what it is. You see, and once as a woman, you don't do that. You will be thinking you are something you are not, and you'll be wanting people in certain categories that you can't get. And you end up with nothing. Because you've rejected all your category people and now you are left with nothing. So what I will say to this lady, especially because she's the one feeling bad about the fact that she's rejected, we all get to that point, but you need to come to a point of realization in your life. These are my cards that I'm playing with. So I have a child.
No, but you know, it's her friend that actually sent the letter. So what will you tell the friend?
The friend, I feel like, you know, look, we will all have to help people. We will all have to hold people's hands at some point. The thing I find with friendship is, I was watching a video, I think I've even posted on my status, where the guy said, he was telling one of his friends that, you know, I know you are that one person for me where when I'm in crisis, I can call you at 2 a.m.
Sure.
And his friend looked at him and said, I'll be very hurt if you don't call me. And I told a story like this to someone, and she didn't understand, one of my friends, and she never understood why I was offended. I wasn't the one she called when she was sick. I was so hurt. I couldn't believe that I was that hurt. But she never understood where I was coming from, and this took it home for me. Because as friends, that is our duty. And anybody who can accept that duty upon themselves, that this is the role I want to play in someone's life, that's it. You've cracked the code. And at this point in that friend's life, that's what she should be doing. She can put it out as many times, at least I'm helping you. Whether you are taking that opportunity or not, that's your business. But every time I will help you. And I think people just need to accept it for what it is. If I introduce you to 10 people and you reject all of them, it's on you, it's no more on me. It's no more on me. But every time I go out, I'm, oh, a friend, I will introduce you to them. I will introduce, so that should be her role. But the lady too in question who has a child and is busy rejecting short men are some of the most romantic men you will find on the planet. Let me tell you some of the most romantic men you will find. Shorter men, smaller men, and men who know they are not handsome. And men who aren't exactly rich, but they are okay, comfortable. They are some of the most romantic, because they know when they meet you, they know they can't provide everything for you. So they go the extra mile in other areas. A man who is not handsome, he knows he's lacking in something. So he's sweeter in other areas.
Since shorter men also have a lot of Napoleon syndrome.
Yes.
Which is scary.
Yeah.
Which can put you down.
Yeah.
Which can also come off as narcissism.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. But the thing is, now once you accept...
I think the problem with the short person is not the behavior. You see, some women like psychologically to feel like the man is above them. Yes. Or superior, so or look superior. So, you know, the looking up to a man also affects how they even respect the man.
Yes.
And how they perceive,
I don't like short
and how they perceive, and how they perceive, and how they perceive a third eye who is watching you as a couple to describe you. But so there are times we've seen all this as so beatings, and then you see a man who is very short, a woman who is tall, and then the comments are sometimes very ridiculous. Because you're like, why you mind? The man is too short. The man is looking up at the woman. The woman is towering over. Look, we make all manner of sensitive jokes.
It's actually historical. It's
that's what I'm saying. That so that part it may not be coming from the narcissistic angle.
She's talking about something else. Those men who are shorter, it is they who have that Napoleon syndrome.
Yes, I understand. I'm saying that. Maybe the rejecting of the short men may not necessarily be because of the Napoleon syndrome that short man may have.
Yes, of course.
It's just because of they themselves, when they step out with their man, they want their man to be above. That's why, recently there was a wedding, for instance, and then the woman wore her heels. She's a tall woman, and she wore heels. And one comment that came and said that the man is short. Why did the woman have to wear heels? On that particular, you should have respected the height. But the thing is that the man is comfortable with the height of the woman that he's with. And the woman is also comfortable in her skin and wants to wear heels for her big day. What's the big deal? But sometimes comments by third parties, the way third parties look at you, for all you know, she has a born one. For all you know, the born one's father, who is her ex or something, is someone who is like, so she too, when she wants to move on to quote unquote something better, she doesn't want to look and say, so this is the one you left and this is the one that you've gotten. So sometimes it's not even what the baggage the guy is coming with. It's you yourself, how you programmed yourself, how you psyched up yourself to be with a certain kind of a person.
My pastor said this thing in church one time, and he said, sometimes we all want to be married or we all want to be hooked up with someone so bad, but the person who is married today or your friends who are married today, if they give you their husband, would you like it? Would you go for it?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. But quickly to add to what everybody is saying, you could have a tall person who ends up being narcissistic.
Yeah.
You could have a short person. You could have
an insecurity.
But the thing is, it's specific, or it depends on the individual as a human being. The thing is, if we start, Cicho said something along the lines of, I forget now. But what I'm trying to say is, if we pause for a moment and take the spotlight off ourselves, and we start looking at the person who we're about to invite into our lives, and we look at them and appreciate them, it's like you're not looking at yourself and rating yourself 100 over 100, or okay, enough, this is me, I don't care what I look like, I know who I am, but who am I about to invite into my life? What kind of human being are they? You know, and then that means you're taking the spotlight off yourself and opening up to somebody else, and even giving that other person an opportunity because you want to get to know them.
Most people reject the people even before they get to that point where they can actually.
And that's the problem I have. If you don't give people an opportunity, you never know who they are.
Exactly.
Well,
you judge
we can
them
actually go on and on and on and on and on, but it's time for us to actually end this conversation. But thank you very much, sisters. It's been a very interesting conversation.
But you know what? My cousin, right? My cousin is very smallish. My cousin is very smallish, right? But he got a girl to call him Samson. So please don't judge a book by the cover. I just had to put that in.
Anyway, sisters, thank you so much. It's been an interesting episode. It's been heated from the beginning to now, but yeah, thank you so much. And a very big thank you to each and everyone that sent in their letters. And you know that you can actually send in your letter via sisterislive@gmail.com. And the sisters and I will be able to read your letter and help you find ways to navigate through these problems. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, I will be sharing my final thoughts. Welcome back, and if you just joined us, this is Sister right here at Channel 1 TV, and if you are listening, is 97.3 City FM. So we've gone through 2 letters, and the sisters have shared their thoughts, and now it's time for me to share my own thoughts on the 2 letters. So the first letter is about a woman who, you know, feels betrayed by her husband and sister, in fact, her whole family, because she and her husband could not have children, but somehow the husband ended up having 3 children, or 2, 1 incoming again, plus that 2 with her sisters. So now, let's get straight into that. She actually sent in the letter, and the only thing I can say to her is, this is a very serious issue, but just know that I understand you, I understand how you feel, and the truth is, there's only one truth. Your family has betrayed you. There's no way to put it. I don't care if they say it's culture. I don't care if they say it's tradition, or your parents or your family is trying to help you, you know, keep your husband or stuff like that. At the end of the day, I feel like if it was polygamy, there would have been mutual respect, in the sense that the man would have told you about it. Okay, you know what, I'm going to get another woman. And then you would talk about it and even agree with it, because you seem like a chill person, because you're even trying to help him get a child. And the funny thing is, ironically, not funny, the ironic thing is, the hospitals have told you, neither of you have a problem. So if neither of you have a problem, I don't know why you would even feel like, okay, he should go get a kid somewhere else, except you know you have a problem. But since you have told us that the hospital says you don't have a problem, then, but somehow you also still suggested, and I think that you're a really chill person. So I feel like you being a chill person and a very understanding person, your husband should have given you that respect to have that conversation with you and say, you know what, I think I want to use your sister or stuff like that to have a child, or I am even dating your sister or something like that. Or maybe I want to start something with your sister, so we keep it within the family. What happened to surrogacy? What happened to IVFs? Maybe they have failed, but surrogacy, like that could have come up somewhere. Maybe your sister should have been the carrier. But all I can say is you should just leave that marriage. I don't think anybody respects you in that marriage. And if you're going to leave well. Let it be a brutal one. This is an advice from me. Take anything you want to take, because you have earned it. You've been long in the marriage and you've been taken for a fool. So if you want to take anything, girl, do your thing. Just take anything. But then again, the biggest advice is seek help. Go to a therapist, talk to a counselor, because this is not going to be easy on you at all. You actually need a clear mind to function properly. So probably just go to a counselor, talk to someone, and take things easy, and then start your life all over again. Now, the second letter about not liking short people. You know, a very big thank you to you for trying to help, you know, your friend get a partner or date someone. But at the end of the day, you should also realize that it's not your friend's fault if she has a preference. I know she was kind of angry that the other guy did not like her because she had a child. You actually owe her, as a friend, to sit her down and tell her, you know what, things are not always going to be, the way you want it to be. But know that people will also have preference. The way you don't like a short person is the way someone might not like, dating somebody with a child. Just have that conversation with your friend. But I think you've done well as a friend. I mean, you're always there. And if you still have more friends, please introduce them to her. And also, you should have that conversation with her that maybe she also needs to chill and learn to love herself, because it's 2 back-to-back for me. 1, 2, is there going to be a next one? She should just chill. And yeah, that's what I think that you should do. And don't be angry that you're introducing your friends to somebody. Everybody, they're all your friends. If you have to do it for them, you have to do it for them. You can't throw your friends away except they want to do something negative to you. But obviously, she's not trying to do anything negative to you. It's just having that understanding that people have preferences. So just have that conversation with her, and I think everything will be fine. But thank you for being such a good friend. In this whole matchmaking thing, you have really tried. If you have more, like she just said, please introduce them. But she also needs to love herself, and she needs to, realize that people have preferences, and don't be angry about these issues. It's life. Anyway, thank you so much. But if you want to send in your letters, you can send in your letters via sisterislive@gmail.com, and we will get to read your letter here. A very big thank you to Gino and Cindy Rice for holding us down. Guys, this has been Sister Sister. See you next week.